Hello Internet. Customer sent this 7900 XTX in for repair. He said he bricked the BIOS. And so there was an argument in the either on Reddit or in the comment section under the earlier videos is how do you go about pricing a repair? See, I make things easy for everybody. The price, it does not depend on the complexity of the work that I have to do. It does not depend on how many days it takes or how many hours or however many seconds. How do you expect me to price a repair that when a customer said, oh, I bricked the BIOS, and so in my mind, flashed the chip directly with a programmer and charge a customer, say, $50, quick $50. Who wouldn't love this idea? So I tried reflashing the chip directly. With this, didn't work. With this, didn't work. With this, didn't work. Until I had to desolder the chip. So I was unable to flash the chip. And I had to on board, so I had to desolder both of the chips, one on the back, one on the front, and then I was able to flash it. And then I thought to myself, well, that's great. I finally able to flash the chip.
And we are done. We're gonna invoice and mail this back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments.
No, brother. And this is why I price my repairs the way I do. This is a 7900 XTX. It costs a certain amount of money on the internet. So, and I usually go off a percentage or so. So that way, if you bring an expensive device, then you have money. You can afford to pay higher price. If you bring in a cheaper device, something like this here, though I probably should have lowered the price for repairing this guy. This is a much cheaper card than this. Therefore, my repair cost is a whole lot less. So that way, if your device is cheaper, you can afford my services. If your device is expensive, then you probably got the money and you better be able to afford my services. So the bottom line is, got the chip programmed, plug it in, no detect. Think about it. It's not detecting. And as far as I'm concerned, I've already earned my $50. So do I charge a person $50 for the repair attempt and send it out with no fix? Or should I do the thing I do with every repair and spend however much time it takes for me to actually get it fixed? And long and behold, started looking around, checking the data lines, text reset, clock reference, all that good stuff. The usual. And here's the problem. There is the reason for no detect. The U-gate is ripped off the board. So we're gonna have to replace this U-gate with a new one. And hopefully that will be it. Now imagine I replace this U-gate, right? And then I run and the card still doesn't post, which means probably some, memory-related errors or whatnot. And who knows, I might even have to reball the core. How long will that take? Hours. Will it be successful on the first attempt? I have no idea. Most likely, but you never know. So, how am I supposed to negotiate the repair with the customer saying, hey, it's not the BIOS. I thought it was, and now the price for repair is, triple because I gotta do the core and all that good stuff. How would the customer feel if I did that? So, because of that, I put my repair price the same, no matter what. So it just makes it easier for everybody, I think. And so don't ask me how much something costs, because like I said, that price depends on the device market value, which changes every day. Alright, there we go. So the guy is out, so we need to fix this trace. This trace is okay. This trace is probably okay too. Right there, yeah. And we need to fix this trace here. So let's go ahead and probably be easier to solder a new U-gate right now. And then we'll deal with some traces. So let's go ahead and put that U-gate there. And just solder it down, actually without the air. I'm just going to use my hands. Just solder that thing down if I can. If this thing posts, then the repair is done. And if it doesn't post, then we're gonna be digging some more. But I feel fairly confident that it will boot. So let's have a look. Here goes nothing. Alright, are we gonna get a picture? Oh, we're beeping. That's a sign. Okay. Let's switch to a different BIOS. See what it does. It was not beeping before. Oh, still not happy. Okay. Let's go into the memory test and see if we, at the very least, we are detecting the card. Before it would not beep, it would not detect. I'm gonna quit the menu as soon as it loads. Q. Okay, LSPCI. There we go. Advanced Micro is on the list. Let's go to menu. Let's run the memory test. And the memory test had passed. Yet somehow. Okay, let's wait for this thing to shut down. So my guess is that there are more knocked off components on the board that I haven't seen. Why? Why is it not working?
The card is still not working.
Okay, who cares? Let's have a look around some more. If there was that component damage, then there's got to be more. So let's have a look around. All right, I don't see any missing components. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ditch the riser. Try again, plug it in directly into the motherboard. Well, not directly, through a different riser. More of a ribbon. But at the very least we are ditching this stupid thing. So let's see if it posts like that, because sometimes those risers causing all sorts of problems. They're just very unpredictable. Alright, we're waiting. Oh, it's doing the exact same thing.
And we still have 6 beeps.
Very interesting.
It's personal now.
Very interesting. So what is wrong with this thing? I have no idea.
We restored 5 volts. We fixed 1.8 volts. We fixed packs. We fixed the PCIe 12 volts. We fixed the broken trace. And we still have 6 beeps.
A simple BIOS fix turned into a nightmare. So we're gonna start digging, and I'll give you an update on what I find. Okay, so the card is fixed, and took 2 days to get it fixed. How much am I supposed to charge for this if it takes 2 days to fix one GPU? It's ridiculous. This is why my repair prices are flat rate. So, what happened to be what turned out to be the problem? Couldn't run a memory test, and what was interesting is every time I run a memory test, it would create a file called tool.log, and you read that file, and it says it cannot read BIOS. And so I started looking around, suspecting that maybe he killed BIOS chips with his flasher. So I replaced both of the BIOS chips. So two BIOS chips on here now that came from somewhere else. I checked every single resistor. I removed them from the board, measured them one by one, checked, make sure that the leftover pads make their connection to, wherever they go, under the core or into the chips. Everything checked out to be beautiful. Voltages, everything is great. Like, somehow BIOS wasn't reading. Then I went on my Discord server where everyone should join and asked for help in the tech channel where my moderator is dwelling when he's not too busy, and he suggested to look into the chip select, and I already have. Problem is the stupid switches on here, it was corroded inside. And so when I were to, let me go and show you. I already fixed it. I ended up just soldering the wires together. Bridging the wires together because that switch is so unreliable. And so my guess is replacing it with something else is going to be just as terrible. And I've already tried to use cleaners, like contact cleaner, this guy. And tried this guy. None of them helped. Well, I mean, they helped a little, but not a whole lot. So we should be getting 0 ohm here, and we do. But if I move around the switch, you see, just gently touching it with the finger, we're losing connection temporarily. And that was enough. That was enough to not allow. And this is just an LED switch. This is a BIOS switch, and it was the exact same thing. So in this position, it's a bit more solid, 48 ohms, yeah. But in this position, it was a whole lot worse, and so I just ended up bridging. Let me show you what I did. Because that switch is so unreliable. I just bridged the connectors right there. Not exactly sure which chip selects when it's in this position. Whether it's the chip at the front or chip at the back, doesn't matter. So as long as we got a working card, we are happy. So thank you, moderator, for help. Otherwise, this thing almost went home with a no fix. So teamwork. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was educating. I'm sure it was, and maybe entertaining to some. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll try to fix something else in the next video. Goodbye. Okay, so on top of everything else, I'm having issues with temperatures, particularly with the hotspot. So all I could see is taking it apart several times. By now, I've noticed one thing, that the cooler just refuses to contact with the core perfectly flat. It looks like it's sitting on an angle, almost as if pads are getting in the way. But that's not true, because even without the pads, it's doing the exact same thing. So to me, that says that the cooler is trash and it's not perfectly parallel. And a customer also confirmed that it was not very well, was not performing well to begin with. So we're just gonna have to ignore this problem because I cannot replace the cooler. Plug it in, run the test, regardless of the issues with the temperatures, and call it a day, because I don't want to be spending another day fixing the problem that cannot be fixed without replacing the cooler. So that will be it. Hopefully this is it, because I do not like this card to be here anymore.